So, the authoritarianism from dear leader Justin Trudeau continues unabated, of course. Here's a headline, and this is from True North. Advisory panel admits Bill C11 would regulate political content online. Well, that's great. And of course it was going to. Everybody knew that that was the purpose of this. Now, Bill C11 is coming under the guise of promoting Canadian content. So, for instance, YouTube will have to promote Canadian content, but only good Canadian content. And who's going to decide whether it's good Canadian content or not? The CRTC, the Canadian Radio, Television and Telecommunications Commission, says we are an administrative tribunal that operates at arm's length from the federal government. Well, it sounds like a nice idea, doesn't it? And also I have to wonder, is there any possibility there could be any bias involved here? Who knows? You know, I'm sure that Trudeau won't be able to influence in any way what's considered good Canadian content. And of course, the not so good Canadian content, which I suspect might be just anything conservative, that's going to be downranked. So you're probably not going to see that in Canada. And this all makes sense because Trudeau has already bought off the legacy media in Canada. And now he's just going to deal with the internet. And here he goes. The Expert Advisory Group on Online Safety. Well, you want to be safe online, right? You don't want to see anything that might be unsafe, right? I mean, not unless you're an adult. But anyway, the Expert Advisory Group on Online Safety, appointed by Heritage Minister Pablo Rodriguez, says that, quote, misleading political communications should be federally regulated. The group claims that unregulated political discussion and disinformation, quote, erodes the foundations of democracy. You know what erodes the foundations of democracy? Censoring dissent. It's not free speech that does that. Free speech preserves democracy. People used to understand that. And as for this misleading political communications, I got a feeling that might include whatever the latest scandal from Trudeau is. But anyway, Minister Rodriguez has previously said on several occasions that Bill C11 would not regulate user-generated content. His claims, however, have been contradicted by the CRTC. Quote, we made it very clear in the Online Streaming Act that this does not apply to what individual Canadians and creators post online. No users, no online creators will be regulated. Only the companies themselves will have new responsibilities. Well, that would be great if it weren't just an utter and total lie. Here's from the CRTC chair, Ian Scott. Section 4.2 allows the CRTC to prescribe by regulation user-uploaded content subject to very explicit criteria. This is also in the Act. So user-uploaded content is what you upload. Section 4.2 of the bill allows the CRTC to issue regulations on social media companies that affect the reach of content, favoring some content over others. And of course, we know which content this is going to be. The comments were made repeatedly at several meetings of the Expert Advisory Group. Are you starting to get sick of the word expert yet? Because after the last 2.5 years, I'm not sure that that word means what they think it means. Let's see, the committee, this committee of experts, was appointed in March 2022 to propose methods of regulating online content deemed harmful by the advisory group. So it's sounding a lot less like just promoting Canadian content, isn't it? Sounding just a lot more like outright censorship. Anyway, among other things, harmful content would include propaganda, false advertising, and misleading political communications. So, as far as I can tell, misleading political communications is often telling the truth. But anyway, and it gets creepier and creepier. The Heritage Department issued both a technical paper and discussion paper that proposed to appoint a Digital Safety Commissioner. What does that mean? What does safety mean anymore? This is the problem. Every word has been redefined now. We don't know what anything actually means. Digital Safety Commissioner. I take that as just the Digital Censorship Commissioner. But anyway, who would have the power to take anonymous complaints on harmful content conduct private hearings, impose fines, and issue orders to block certain websites. So they're going to be able to take anonymous complaints. Well, it's awfully convenient that they can take anonymous complaints, isn't it? On harmful content, and they'll decide what's harmful. Yeah, and they don't need your opinion on it. In fact, that's the point of all this, so that nobody will hear your opinion on it. But anyway, conduct private hearings. Private hearings are always good. Impose fines and issue orders to block certain websites. Yeah, this is just sounding like an Orwellian nightmare. Regulated content would include written posts on Facebook, private messages on Twitter, video games, listings on Amazon, and even Airbnb listings. So also they can affect your business to make money in other ways. You know, you've got the wrong opinions, you can say goodbye to that extra Airbnb cash. But anyway, group members said in one session, quote, many experts mentioned, here we have that experts word again. Are they really experts? Mentioned there is a justification to look more widely at some interactive services like Airbnb and gaming platforms. So they also want to ruin your video games as well. Quote, many experts supported the notion that private communications should be included under the scope of the legislative framework. So, so some faceless bureaucrat's going to be able to decide what you can say privately. That's great. And it does just keep getting more and more gross. The expert advisory group highlighted that regulation must apply to content regardless of whether or not it is legal. Let me repeat that. It must apply to content regardless of whether or not it is legal. Actually, it mustn't apply to that. In a free country, that cannot happen. In a free country, that doesn't happen. Oh, sorry, I forgot. It's Canada. Illegal hate speech, such as active calls for violence, has been regulated under the criminal code since 1970. But it's not quite good enough because people are saying things that I guess maybe could offend somebody. I don't know. Maybe Justin Trudeau. Gray zone content. Gray zone content. Speech that is lawful yet harmful. Here's the thing. It's not harmful. No, I'm sorry. Just because it hurts somebody's feelings or offends somebody because they disagree for whatever reason, and we know it doesn't take much to offend people these days, don't we? I'm sorry, but that doesn't count as harmful. That's healthy for a free society, for a democracy. But anyway, a speech that is lawful yet harmful, quote, poses unique challenges, wrote the advisory group. Because I guess the unique challenge is, how do you get people to give up their fundamental rights? Well, that is a tricky one, or maybe it's not so tricky. I guess we're finding out, aren't we? Quote, most harmful content online falls into this category. Well, that's very convenient that most of the harmful, what they consider to be harmful, falls into this category of speech that's actually perfectly legal. And here's what this Minister Rodriguez says about this, and they always couch it in this language. Every government's first priority will always be the safety and the security of Canadians. So it'll be a dictatorship, but it'll be a benevolent dictatorship because they care so much. Now, this bill has been passed in the House, but not in the Senate, so there's still some hope that there will be sanity in Canada. But I guess in the meantime, we'll have to console ourselves with the fact that every day that Justin Trudeau has to go without going in public with black shoe polish on his face is a living hell for him. I don't know why he doesn't just resign and then he can do his one-man performance of Roots. Anyway, please subscribe, like, and share. Sharing really helps me out. I really notice when people share my content. It makes a big difference. I thank you for that. I'll see you next time.